Book review, The Spiritual Path by Gregory David Roberts. Hello, this is Chris speaking. Wake up with another book review. This time, Gregory David Roberts' The Spiritual Path, which was released a few weeks ago, in September 2021, by the famous author of Shantaram. Shantaram was one, and still is one, of my favorite novels ever. And I really like the guy too, Gregory David Roberts. Very cool guy. He has his own channel now also. And his previous two books were fiction novels, but based on his own experience in India. So most of the characters there are made up, but most of the things he describes there, he actually experienced. And he finally found, after many years in India, he found his spiritual path. And the first thing to say about this book is that the title is a little bit misleading, because it's called The Spiritual Path. Not my spiritual path or a spiritual path, but the spiritual path. And this is, of course, cannot be the case. There is not one spiritual path. What he describes in his book is his experience with Bhakti Yoga. Please watch my video about Bhakti Yoga, the path of yoga of devotion, how devotion can lead to enlightenment. There are several paths in the Indian tradition, and one of them is Bhakti Yoga. And as I've said in the previous video, this is a very important path, especially for Westerners. Because in a very material culture, what is needed is devotion, surrender, submission. Not achieving another thing. Enlightenment is not another doctorate degree. It's not another sales achievement or promotion in the job. It's very, very different. And it can only happen once this ambition is going away and being replaced by surrender. And this process is being described very well in this book by Gregory, The Spiritual Path. It's not a book how to advance on the spiritual path or on your spiritual path. It's not full of advice what you should do to reach your aim of enlightenment. But it's an account of his experience on his spiritual path with a method of Bhakti Yoga and an enlightened teacher. And he's a very good author. His writing style is very, very good. And I think it's worth reading if you know that it's about an example. It's about an example what he went through to reach his spiritual awakening. Or even further, the love phase. So it's not a recipe how to get there, it's just an account, a recording, a description of his path and his experience, which can also be very helpful just to see what is possible, especially because Bhakti Yoga is so very, very important for us today, and because there are so few accounts of Bhakti Yoga. My last book review was about a book on Raja Yoga, which is very, very different. Now, in Bhakti Yoga, it's not about cities. It's really about devotion to the divine, whatever may happen. So, I like the book. I can recommend it. Thank you to Gregory for writing it. Thank you, if you're ever watching this video, thank you for your 2 previous books also. You're an amazing author. Thank you very much. Please tell me what you think about the book in the comments. Please leave comments below if you have read the book already or after you read it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking and thumbs up and hitting the bell button and subscribing, joining me as a Patreon. Thank you to all my Patreons. Thank you for sharing the videos with your friends, and see you soon.